The Galactic Council had been at war for 300 years. The Empire, a race of massive reptilian warriors, had conquered over 200 star systems. Their ships were built from the bones of dead planets. Their weapons could crack moons in half. Every species in the galaxy feared them, and every species had tried to stop them. All had failed. Admiral stood on the bridge of his flagship, watching the battle unfold on the holographic display. His scaled face showed no emotion, but inside he felt something he had not felt in decades: confidence. The allied forces of 12 different species had gathered their remaining ships in the system. This was their last stand. If they lost here, the entire galaxy would belong to the... "How many ships do we have?" asked his second-in-command. 47,000, Admiral. It is the largest fleet ever assembled in galactic history. Nodded slowly. They had brought 60,000 ships. The numbers were not in their favor, but they had no choice. There was nowhere left to run. The battle began at dawn. Plasma fire lit up the darkness of space like a billion stars being born at once. Ships exploded. Crews died. The Allied forces fought with everything they had, but they pushed forward like an unstoppable wave. Within the first hour, the Allies had lost 8,000 ships. They had lost only 3,000. "We cannot hold them," one of the commanders said through the communication channel. His voice was shaking with fear. "We need to retreat." "There is no retreat," replied. "This is the end. We fight until we die." But then something strange happened. A message appeared on every ship's communication system. It came from somewhere beyond the battle, from a region of space that no one had ever explored. The message was simple. It contained only 3 words. "Humans are coming." No one knew who the humans were. The word meant nothing to any species in the galaxy. Some thought it was a mistake. Some thought it was a trick. But then the sensors detected something. Far in the distance, at the edge of the system, a group of ships had appeared out of nowhere. They had not used the standard jump gates that all galactic species used for travel. They had simply appeared as if they had folded space itself. "How many ships?" asked. The sensor officer looked at his screen. He checked it twice. Then he checked it a third time. His hands were trembling. 12, Admiral, only 12 ships." Felt his heart sink. 12 ships against 60,000 warships. This was not help. This was a joke. A cruel joke played by the universe on a dying galaxy. The commander noticed the new arrivals as well. He laughed through the open communication channel. "Is this your great hope? 12 tiny ships. You allies are even more pathetic than I thought. Destroy them, then finish the rest." 1,000 ships broke away from the main fleet and moved toward the human vessels. They fired their weapons as soon as they were in range. Plasma beams, missile swarms, and gravity bombs all flew toward the 12 human ships. None of them hit. The human ships did not dodge. They did not deploy shields. They simply continued moving forward, and every single attack passed through them as if they were made of smoke. The commander watched in confusion. His weapons had never missed before. They could not miss. The targeting systems were perfect. "Fire again," he ordered. They fired again and again and again. Nothing worked. The human ships kept coming. They were closer now, close enough to see clearly on the visual display. They were smaller than ships, sleek and elegant, painted in a color that seemed to shift between silver and black depending on the light. There were no visible weapons on their hulls, no cannons, no missile tubes, nothing. The 1,000 ships surrounded the 12 human vessels. They were so close now that they could not miss. They fired everything they had at point-blank range. The human ships vanished. For a moment the commanders thought they had won, but then their sensors screamed warnings. The 12 human ships had reappeared behind them, and then, for the first time, the humans attacked. There was no sound in space, but if there had been, the galaxy would have heard the scream. The human weapons were unlike anything anyone had ever seen. They did not fire beams or missiles. They fired something else entirely. Reality itself seemed to tear apart wherever the human weapons struck. Ships did not explode. They simply stopped existing. One moment they were there, solid and real. The next moment they were gone, erased from the universe as if they had never been built. In less than 10 seconds, all 1,000 ships were gone. The commander stared at his display screen. His mouth hung open. His eyes were wide with terror. In 300 years of conquest, he had never seen anything like this. He had never even imagined anything like this. "What are they?" he whispered. No one answered. No one knew. The 12 human ships turned toward the main fleet. They began to move. They were not fast by galactic standards. Their speed was actually quite average, but somehow that made them even more terrifying. They were not rushing. They were not worried. They moved with the calm confidence of predators who knew their prey could not escape. The commander finally found his voice. "All ships, focus fire on those vessels, destroy them now." 60,000 ships opened fire. The space between the two fleets became a solid wall of destruction. Enough firepower to destroy 100 planets flew toward the 12 human ships. Again, none of it hit. The human ships passed through the attack like ghosts walking through a storm. They did not slow down. They did not change course. They simply kept coming, closer and closer, until they reached the heart of the fleet. Then they stopped. For a long moment, nothing happened. The ships surrounded the human vessels, but no one dared to fire again. They had already seen what happened to ships that attacked the humans. The entire battlefield fell silent. A new communication channel opened. A human voice spoke. It was calm and clear, translated automatically by the universal communication systems. "This is Admiral James of the human battle fleet. We have been watching your war for some time. We chose not to interfere because we wanted to see if you could solve your problems on your own. You could not. The Empire has committed crimes against life itself. They have destroyed entire species. They have turned living worlds into dead rocks. They have shown no mercy and no restraint." The commander tried to respond, but his voice would not come. Fear had frozen him in place. Admiral continued, "Humanity believes that all intelligent life has value. We believe that the strong should protect the weak, not prey upon them. We believe that war should be the last option, not the first. They have violated all of these principles. Therefore, we have come to end this." The commander finally managed to speak. "You are only 12 ships. We are 60,000. You cannot win." There was a pause. Then Admiral spoke again, and his voice carried a hint of something that might have been sadness. "You still do not understand. We did not bring 12 ships because that is all we have. We brought 12 ships because that is all we need." The human ships began to glow. Light poured from every part of their hulls, brighter and brighter until it hurt to look at them. The light spread outward in a perfect sphere, expanding faster and faster. When it touched a ship, that ship disappeared, not destroyed, not damaged, just gone. The light kept spreading, touching ship after ship, erasing them from existence. They tried to run, but they could not escape. Their jump drives would not work. Their engines could not move them fast enough. The light caught them all. In exactly 11 seconds, the entire fleet ceased to exist. The Allied commanders watched in stunned silence. 47,000 ships floated in space, surrounded by nothing. They were gone, all 60,000 of them. The war that had lasted 300 years was over. Admiral finally spoke. His voice was barely a whisper. "What did they do? Where did the ships go?" One of his officers checked the sensors. "I do not know, Admiral. There is no debris, no radiation, no sign that the ships were ever here. They are just gone." The human communication channel opened again. Admiral's voice was gentle now, almost kind. "They are not dead. We do not kill if we can avoid it. We have moved their entire fleet to an empty dimension, a pocket universe with no exit. They will live there with air and food and water, but they will never threaten anyone again. That is our way. We end wars, but we do not end lives, not unless we must. Tried to process what he was hearing. A pocket universe, moving 60,000 ships to another dimension. These humans spoke of such things as if they were simple tasks, as easy as walking from one room to another. Who are you? Asked. Where do you come from? We come from a small planet called Earth in a distant arm of this galaxy. We are young by galactic standards. Our species is only 200,000 years old. We achieved space travel only a few centuries ago, but we learn quickly, very quickly, and we have had help from beings even older than us. Why have we never heard of you? Because we chose to remain hidden. The galaxy is a dangerous place, full of species that would have tried to destroy us when we were weak. So we hid, we watched, we learned, we grew stronger, and now we are ready to take our place among the stars. The 12 human ships began to move away from the battlefield. They had done what they came to do. The war was over. Wait, called out, what happens now? Admiral's voice came one last time through the communication channel. Now you rebuild. You heal your wounded worlds and mourn your dead. You create a lasting peace among your peoples. And if you ever need help again, if any threat rises that you cannot face alone, you call us. We will come, because that is what humans do. We protect those who cannot protect themselves. We stand against evil wherever we find it. We are the guardians of the innocent and the voice of the voiceless. Remember our name, Admiral. Remember what we did here today. And know that you are never alone in this universe. Humanity stands with you, always. The 12 ships vanished, returning to wherever they had come from. The battlefield fell silent. The war was over. And across the galaxy, billions of beings spoke a new word for the first time. A word that would come to mean hope, protection, and strength. A word that would echo through history for 1,000,000 years. Human,